So we finally made it. It's October. The weather's starting to cool down a little bit. It needs to get a lot cooler sooner because it's still kind of warm. But I'm super excited for the weather. I know all of you that live here in Arizona are also excited. So today we're going over the October 2023 market trends. What's up, guys? So before we get into the market trends, I want to give a quick pitch for my movie night in the park that I'm holding this Saturday. So October 21st, 6 p.m. in Paseo Verde Park, which is 75th Ave and Greenway in Peoria. There's free popcorn, free sodas, drinks, and we're playing Toy Story 4. If you're in the area, I would love for you to come out. It'd be a great time. It's something I do for my neighborhood. And would love to see you guys out there. As always, if you guys could like the video, I would appreciate it. It helps me. If you want to share it with your friends, just trying to be a resource for everybody. But let's get into these market trends. All right, so let's talk about these market trends for October. So as always, we're going to start with how many homes are on the market. So if you haven't watched any of my other videos, I always start here because real estate is all about local real estate. It's not about national numbers. When the news talks about national numbers, that's not conducive, all right? We're looking at local because real estate is supply and demand. It's all about supply and demand. So last month, we were sitting around 12,350 homes, just above that. This month, we are currently sitting, as of today, we're sitting at 14,300, just over that. So that's an increase of almost 2,000 homes. And a lot of people are like, well, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. And the answer is, it's a good thing. We want to become more balanced, a balanced market here. Most people had always said a balanced market was 25 to 35,000 homes. I think it's probably around 25. I think we've kind of moved that way, maybe a little under that. But 25,000 homes is that benchmark. Last November, a year ago, we were at 21,000 homes. We were like, okay, good, we're getting towards a balanced market. Then interest rates kind of came down a little bit and people came right back in the market. And it was like, okay, now we lost all the volume because people didn't want to sell. And again, if you haven't watched any of my other videos, people aren't wanting to sell because one, interest rates are really high and they probably have a sub 4, interest rate on their house. I think the stat was, I got to remember, it was like 60 or 70% of people have less than a 4% interest rate. So yeah, of course they're not looking to sell. They want them to come down. And one of the things that we've been looking at is, once interest rates eventually do come down over the next year or two, you're going to see people actually start selling again because they're like, hey, I can actually make it work now. Maybe I can buy down points and I can actually get close to, whatever I need. But right now it doesn't make sense. Interest rates right now are saying, I believe as of this morning, around 7.8%. Now that's a rough number, okay? Because I've seen people recently that got 7.3 or 7.5. So everybody's situation is different. But it's one of those that we're sitting around 7.5, 7.8 as far as interest rates. And a lot of people are hesitant, right? Because the Fed has said they're going to keep raising rates because they're seeing people still spending money and they're trying to slow them down because inflation is still an issue. And so it's one, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but inflation still being an issue, they're like, hey, we got to slow this down. So they're still raising rates, which they need to. They totally need to do that. So it's one of those that with interest rates being high, it's slowing down the real estate market, which is not a bad thing because it's one of those that we're going to cool down to get to a point where it's going to be a more balanced market, hopefully. Because my worry has always been next year, let's say interest rates start coming down, everybody and their mother starts coming back in the market. Let's say people start selling, but maybe not super high rates still. We're going to be right back where we started, where there's just not a lot of inventory and then prices keep going up and stuff like that. Right now, we're seeing prices hold. Prices are not dropping a ton. They're not raising a ton. We're kind of staying right there. And we've seen some go up a little bit, maybe down a little bit. And every month's a little different. And so for us, values are holding. So that's a good thing. But it's one of those that right now we're kind of holding on. And honestly, I think it'll probably feed into next quarter, like into first quarter. We're going to see the Fed doing this, slowing everything down. People are unsure with the economy, what's going to happen. And here's the thing. A lot of people are still scared. Is everything going to crash? Go watch some of my other videos. I give a lot of details in those. I give resources. But no, because over 70% of homeowners in the United States, and this is a national number, okay, but over 70% of homeowners in the United States have over 50% equity in their house, or they own it outright. That's a lot. So in worst case scenario, someone loses their house or something, or loses their job, they're going to sell their house because they have equity in their homes. Most people who bought, especially before like 2022, have equity in their homes. So that's a good thing. So it's one of those that there is nothing to be like freaking out about or anything like that. Interest rates are high right now, and a lot of people are waiting, and I totally get it. And when it comes to real estate, if you're thinking about buying or selling, that's a totally separate conversation. I would love to have that conversation with you because here's the thing, is right now is a good opportunity. The market's kind of where it needs to. You can get a good amount from sellers. You can negotiate because once interest rates do come down, lots of people are going to come back in the market. to buy. So it could get crazy. We'll have to see. No one has a crystal ball. We don't know. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I would love to talk to you about real estate if you're looking to buy or sell or just even curious about real estate. I would love to have that conversation with you. My information is below. You've been listening to The Real.